Let me ask you a question. Have you ever started a diet and checked the mirror after one workout and thought, yeah, this is not working? Be honest. You did 12 push ups, drank one smoothie, and you're in the mirror like, where are my abs, Lord? And then what do after that? We quit because we didn't see instant evidence. Now, here's the truth. Most people treat faith the exact same way. They pray, they believe, they try it for a moment, then they check reality and say, yeah, nothing changed. Faith doesn't fail. We just check too soon. Welcome to the Produce on Purpose podcast, where we explore experiencing life being the real you, where we believe you weren't just born to exist, you were born to produce on purpose, with purpose, and through purpose. I'm your host, Randy Atkins Jr., author, teacher, speaker, preacher, and the lifelong learner. And today we're going to talk about faith in a way that actually works on a Tuesday morning when nothing looks different. Not church faith, not Instagram caption faith, real, everyday, practical faith. So let's go. Let's jump into this conversation. What faith really is. Let's make it tangible. Let's talk about it. So let's simplify this. Very simple. Faith is not complicated. We make it complicated. Faith is simply this: acting like something is true before you can see it with this natural eye. Acting like something is true before you can see it with your natural eye. That's it. Let me give you a picture to think about. You order something from Amazon. I know, just like me, you probably order many things from Amazon. And when you order that shipment from Amazon, you don't stand at the door 5 minutes later yelling, "Where is it? Where is it? Can I get it?" No, you relax. Why? Why do you relax? Because you have confirmation. You trust the system. Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. You've probably heard Hebrews 11:1 many times, but think about it in the context of this Amazon package. You ordered the package, but you don't go checking for it in front of your door every 5 minutes. You trust the system. Faith is your confirmation email from heaven. Let me say that again. Faith is your confirmation email from heaven. Have you ever thought about it that way? Faith is acting like it's already shipped, and even though it hasn't shown up yet, you know it's on its way. That's it. We often have made faith so complicated as if it's something that we are wishing for or we don't think we're going to get. But when you think about that Amazon package, you just trust the system that that Amazon package is going to show up at the right time. So if you think of faith that way, then let's talk about our problem. We keep checking the mirror. So listen, let's paint this picture. You plant a seed today, and it's a great time. It's spring at my house, and so we're seeing some beautiful blooms that are happening. And many of you are going out and planting seeds in this time of year. So you go outside, you plant the seed, and tomorrow you dig up the seed. Did it grow yet? Next day, you dig it up again. Still nothing. By day 3, the seed is like, can you please leave me alone? We plant faith many times, but then we panic and we keep digging it up. when you are supposed to plant it and allow for it to be nurtured and to grow. We believe, then we check. James 1:7 says it this way: let not the man think he shall receive anything. Not because God said, no, you've been checking because you keep resetting the process. You keep checking the seed. You've got to allow time for your faith to be active enough to continue to start to work. So every time you check in doubt, you dig up what you planted in faith. Is there something you have been working on, that you have been thinking about, that you have really wanted to work and see happen in your life? What I have found, if you understand faith this way, is you need to go ahead and put in your order and know that it is on its way. The producer shift. So, as producers, let's start tying our identity to what faith is. On the produce on purpose, experience life, being the real you, initially we talked about identity, what our identity is, being the real you as a producer. We removed all of the masks that could potentially hold us back, and masks that don't allow for us to grow. And we now understand who we are and understand our purpose. So now let's talk about what happens next, because if you understand your identity, you understand you are a producer, how do you live in faith daily? Because once you know who you are, you have to start living like it. In Genesis 1:27, it says, we are created in his image. It's important for us to understand that as a foundational truth, that we have God on the inside that is expressed through us as we continue to live this life. So you are not just a believer, you are a producer. And let me explain it like this: a consumer waits, but a producer creates. Let me repeat that one more time for you. A consumer waits, but a producer creates. The consumer says, I hope something good happens. The producer says, I'm about to align with what already exists. You see the difference? Maybe what has been occurring in your life up until now is you've been treating faith as if you are a consumer, as if you're waiting on something. But if you are a producer and you created whatever's coming, whatever is about to be developed, what you will find is that you can now say, I'm aligning with what already exists. When I plan for whatever is happening and what's going on in my life, I'm aligning with what already exists in my life. I understand that I am already in that place that I kept thinking I was going to get there at some point in time in the future. No, you make the decision now. You feel it right now. You are that right now. And as faith continues to work, as that seed continues to grow under the ground, you stop digging it up. You are going to allow for it to grow. Listen to this one. Consumers wait for life. Producers create with faith. I want to see you continue to create with faith. And remember, as we create as producers, we become more fulfilled. We have greater peace. Are able to live a life that is more fulfilling. We're able to do things that strengthen us, that help us along the way. And if we help ourselves initially, can we help others? Can we serve others? Can we do for others? And the answer is yes. But you have to understand how this faith thing actually works. So let's talk about the real life system and how faith really works in our lives. Let me give you the real process and a step-by-step guide of how this works. No fluff and no confusion. So let's start with step one. Step one, pick what you want. This is a selection process. This is not asking someone else. This is you selecting a place or whatever it is for your life. And many times, if we understand what God has intended for us, what God has put for us to do, how we are supposed to live, then your selection is going to be exactly what you should experience in this world. Stop being vague. Stop being general about what you're talking about. I want you to understand that clarity creates movement. The clearer you are on what you are selecting, the better that you can feel it, the greater the modalities that you understand that your faith is embodying. That means that if you know where you are supposed to be, you're going to feel it. You're going to embody it. You're going to have that state. When you wake up in the morning, you are already that. You do not wait until you see the results in the outside or in this world. You are already it. You're acting on it because that is what faith allows for you to start to do. In the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 7 and verse 7, it says that you should ask. Simple, ask. You don't get what you kind of want, you get what you clearly choose. So, what are you choosing? What are you selecting? Step one is for you to pick what you want. Write it down. Pick what you want. That's you selecting. Let's talk about step two. Start acting like it's true, not fake, aligned. And when you're aligned with that selection, if you believe for peace, stop rehearsing stress. Stop worrying about all of the doomsday issues that could occur. Understand that you are going to have peace. And if something comes up, because life does happen, that you're going to be able to manage it with peace. If you believe for provision, stop speaking lack. Why every time you're saying, I wish I had this much in my life, I wish I had greater this in my life, and then the next moment you're speaking like, oh, I don't know if that's going to happen. You have to start acting as if it's true. You have to feel it. You have to embody it. You feel it. I'm now understanding that I'm going to walk in peace. I'm not going to allow the stressors of this life, that I want a new perspective. God, help me with this perspective. I'm going to write down all of these great things that I know that I am choosing today, and I'm going to walk in that. I'm going to feel it right now. I'm not going to wait for something to happen external to me. It's going to happen on me in me internally right now. So faith isn't saying it once, it's living like it daily. Faith isn't saying it once, but it's living like it's daily. When you are walking and you are embodying it, you are with that faith entirely every day. I am a producer. I am a co creator with God, my Father. I am made in the image of God. I understand that if I have promises from God, that they will always be true. If I walk with God, He's walking with me. Walk in that, act like it, feel it. Don't you feel it? Step three, feel it now. Now, not tomorrow, but now. You ever notice how you feel different on payday? Anybody here feel different on payday? I know I do. Nothing changed yet, but you know money is coming. You know it's on its way. That's faith. So start thinking of ways to understand that you already know that you had an agreement that you were going to get paid. Well, that's the same thing with faith. Why are you not trusting God in that way? Why are you doubting that God, the creator of all things, the one that gave you all things, the source of all things, is not going to show up on his promises? If you agree with your job and that your job is going to provide you a paycheck, you work prior to ever getting the paycheck. They don't give you the paycheck first. You work before you get it. That's faith. In Mark 11:24, it says, believe you have received. If you believe you already have received it, you feel it right now. Step 4, stop trying to control everything. Some of y'all are like micromanaging God. You going to God and saying, okay, Lord, here's what we're going to do. How many know that probably is not going to work? I'm going to micromanage God. In Proverbs 3:5, it says it very simply, trust in the Lord. Let it go. Step number 4 is simple. Stop controlling everything and trying to control everything. You can't micromanage God. Just let it go. Let it go. You'll have greater peace in your life. Step 5, hold your position. Number 5, hold your position. Even when it looks the same, even when it doesn't look like anything's changed, even when you can't see any further than where you are, hold your position. Even when it feels quiet, hold your position. In Corinthians 5:7, it says, in the second epistle of Corinthians 5:7, it says, walk by faith. If nothing changes, that's when your faith matters the most. It just hasn't shown up yet. I like to say it's on its way. You just can't see it yet. And when we understand faith in that way, we can hold our position. So now let's recap the 5 steps in living this out every single day. Number 1, we are going to pick what we want. We're going to select it. Yes, I'm going to walk and I'm going to be one in peace. I'm going to be a peaceful person. I'm going to start acting like that is true. So if I got peace, I'm going to stop rehearsing stress. Number 3, I'm going to feel it right now. I'm going to embody it. I'm going to embody that state. Step 4, I'm going to stop trying to control everything. I'm going to let it go. And number 5, I'm going to hold my position. I'm not going to allow anything to stop me from understanding that it is true. I have faith in what is coming next. So here we are. How do we walk in this everyday faith? So let's make this real for you. So let me bring this home. Faith looks like this. You go to work and you still believe your future is bigger. Your future is bigger than that job. You pay the bills and you still expect overflow. You face uncertainty, but stay grounded. Look at this. It might look like storms are around you and everything is falling apart, but you are still grounded. What are you grounded in? You're grounded and rooted in the faith and the trust in your source, in God, in who He has done, what He's done for you, who He is. You are rooted. It's not dramatic. It's consistent. It's choosing over and over again. I trust what I can't see more than what I can. The real part of faith and about life is when you start believing that the real truth in life is what you are creating on the inside that will eventually show up on the outside. Faith is substance, is evidence of things hoped for. It says faith is. That means it's right now. Faith is substance, real. It's something that has evidence. If I'm in the court of law, I want to bring evidence to let people know that it's true. Did He do it before when you had faith? He did. And don't forget about it because He'll do it again. And He'll do it in a greater fashion. The better you understand this, the greater faith that you have in life, the greater you're going to be a creator and co creator with God, to be able to be a producer of what He has given unto you, be able to produce on purpose in your life, and understand that you are the real you. You're no longer being held back by the things of this world that often block us from having real faith. When we have real faith, we have a faith that is anchored and rooted in God, in Christ. When we understand that this is part of our life and who we embody. So that's why it says, have faith in God. Many times we're stuck and we're afraid, we're in fear. Many times Jesus had to say to his disciples, be not afraid. He had to say, fear not. Why would he say that? Because there's a scripture that tells us that God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of love, of power, and of a sound mind. You can't continue to walk in fear. I want you to walk in faith. Let me leave you with this. Faith is not about trying harder. It's about checking less. Stop checking the mirror, stop digging up the seed, and stop questioning the process. You already understand that this is a process. The way that you want to see the greater you, the greater producer in this world, the greater impact that you are supposed to provide, the more inspiration that you're supposed to share with this world, the way that that works is you have to have faith. Remember, when you choose to buy something on Amazon, you don't go checking and saying, where is it? You go ahead and you order it and you don't think about it until it shows up. And that's what your faith should look like. You don't go plant a seed and dig it up every day. You plant that seed, you water it, you nurture it. That means you're going to become it. You're going to feel it. You're going to pick what it's going to be. When you pick that seed, you pick what it was going to be. You selected it. Then you put it in the ground. You said, hey, I understand that this seed is going to grow and I'm going to feel it, that it's there. And I'm going to allow it to become what it should become. I'm not going to try to control the situation. I'm not going to dig it up. I'm not going to check anymore. I'm going to allow for it to grow. Faith is there for you because what we should be doing every day is we should be walking by faith and not by sight. You got it. When we walk by faith and not by sight, then we are not only dependent on what happens in this external world or this physical world or what we see with our physical eyes. Remember, we're a tripart being. You are body, you are soul, and you are spirit. That means that you can have greater intuition. You can have greater insight that comes from your spirit through your soul and out to this physical world. God is wanting us to have greater faith. Jesus taught for us to have greater faith. And I would encourage you as a producer that you would walk by faith every day and that you're not walking by that sight. Faith works when you stop interrupting it. Could it be that you've been interrupting faith? Could it be that you haven't allowed faith to truly work in your life? What if you allowed faith to be the thing that drove you for the rest of your life? What if faith was at the forefront of how you lived your life? That you no longer used any of the things that are external in this world to gauge how you feel? What if you use faith to empower you to feel and be the best you that you can be, regardless of the external circumstances, regardless of what may happen or problems that may happen in your life? We know those things will happen to any of us, but you get to have a different perspective when you have faith, when you believe, and when you know. You have to have faith in something of substance. I shouldn't just have faith in the systems of this world. If I can have faith in Amazon, I can have faith in God. If I can have faith in all of these other things that I do every day, I can have faith in God. If I can have faith in the chair, that when I sit in the chair, that it's not going to fall, I just plop down in the chair, I don't check it. I can have faith in God. If I can have faith in the systems of of this world and not think about it twice, what about your God? What about the same God that has promised that he would never leave you? He would never forsake you. He would never leave you alone. That in fact, if we are in a place where we are out and about, that he would even prepare the table before our enemies, that we shouldn't be afraid. That even when we walk through the valley in the shadow of death, that when death comes our way, we will fear no evil because God is with us. He's promised that he would never leave us, that he would never allow his seed to beg bread. That means you don't have to go out looking, but just have faith that God is going to work with you. That comes through a relationship. And we can't just try to do whatever a particular formula is. We can't just try to walk by a particular list of items. We are encouraged to have a relationship. I encourage you to think about this because maybe you've been checking too much. Maybe you've been looking for a long time at the things that you don't even have to look at anymore. But you have to understand that how faith works. Because when you're walking in faith, you're walking in the trueness of what God has for you. When you believe and you trust in him, Scripture tells us that he will direct our paths and he will show us the way. That's all I have to say on this topic. Hopefully, you receive something out of this today that'll allow you to walk in that daily faith in a consistent way. So, this is the Produce on Purpose podcast. And I want you to remember this: you don't wait for life to change, you produce it. And you produce that on faith, with faith, and through faith. Faith becomes your foundation of how you can walk. Remember, faith doesn't fail. We just keep checking it too soon. Faith is your confirmation email from heaven. Every time you doubt, you dig up what you planted. Stop micromanaging God. And faith works when you stop interrupting it. You don't wait for your life, you produce it. And you produce on purpose.